English Daily 15 Minutes.
David worked as an accountant in a quiet town in the South. Every day, he sat at a small desk, checked numbers on a computer screen, and filed official papers. His life was regular, predictable, and somewhat boring. However, David's grandfather, Arthur, had a very different life. Grandfather Arthur was a famous baker in the town. For 40 years, Arthur owned and operated a small, warm bakery called the Golden Loaf. Every morning, the sweet smell of fresh bread, butter rolls, and fruit pies filled the narrow streets around the shop. Townsfolk stood in long lines outside the door to buy his delicious baked goods. One sunny Tuesday in May, David received an urgent phone call from his aunt. Grandfather Arthur had fallen on the stairs and broken his leg. The doctor said the old man needed to rest in bed for at least 1 month. He could not stand on his feet, carry heavy sacks of flour, or work near the hot ovens. Arthur was deeply sad because he did not want to close his beloved bakery. He worried about his loyal customers and his daily routine. Hearing this, David made a brave decision. He took 4 weeks of leave from his office job and decided to take over the bakery. Before starting his first day at the bakery, David drove to the town hospital to visit his grandfather. Arthur lay in a bright hospital room with his leg wrapped in a heavy white cast. The old captain of the kitchen looked tired, but his eyes lit up with deep emotion when he saw David. David sat on a wooden chair near the bed and explained his plan to keep the bakery open. Arthur reached under his pillow, pulled out a heavy metal ring with 3 brass keys, and handed it to David. He told David that the large key opened the front door, the small key opened the flour storage room, and the silver key opened the wooden desk where the secret recipe book rested. David promised to protect the shop and honor the family tradition. David knew very little about professional baking. When he was a young boy, he sometimes watched his grandfather work in the kitchen, but he never baked a single loaf of bread by himself. On his first day, David arrived at the bakery early in the morning. He unlocked the green wooden door at 4 o'clock while the rest of the town was still sleeping. The air inside the shop smelled faintly of cinnamon, old flour, and dried yeast. David walked into the back kitchen, switched on the overhead lights, and put on a clean white apron. The kitchen was large and filled with heavy equipment. There were massive stainless steel bowls, long wooden tables, giant metal trays, and 3 large stone ovens built into the wall. On a high shelf near the window sat several glass jars filled with white sugar, brown flour, yellow cornmeal, and dark raisins. David felt nervous as he looked around the huge room. He did not know where to start or how to operate the giant stone ovens. David walked over to his grandfather's small wooden desk in the corner of the kitchen. He began to look for the famous family recipe notebook using the silver key. Arthur always talked about this special leather book. It contained all his secret formulas for making the softest bread and the most delicious sweet rolls in the region. After searching through 3 drawers, David found the thick brown book hidden under a stack of paper bags. He opened it carefully and turned the yellow pages. Arthur's handwriting was neat, clear, and easy to read. David decided to start with the simplest item on the menu, basic white dinner rolls. He read the first page of the notebook carefully. The recipe required warm water, dry yeast, white flour, sea salt, a little melted butter, and 2 spoonfuls of sugar. David took a large glass bowl and set it on the wooden table. He poured warm water into the bowl, added the yeast, and waited 5 minutes for the mixture to bubble. Next, he measured 4 cups of white flour and poured it into the water. This was the moment where David made his first big mistake. The kitchen was dimly lit, and David was still sleepy. He reached for the jar of white sugar, but he accidentally picked up the jar of fine sea salt instead. He mixed up the ingredients completely. He added 2 big spoonfuls of salt to the dough instead of sugar. He kneaded the heavy dough with his hands for 10 minutes until it felt smooth and soft. He formed the dough into 12 small, round balls, placed them on a large metal tray, and pushed the tray into the hot oven. 20 minutes later, a warm, golden smell filled the kitchen. David felt proud as he pulled the shiny tray out of the oven. The rolls looked perfectly golden, round, and soft. He waited 2 minutes for them to cool down, picked up 1 roll, and took a big bite. Instantly, his face twisted in shock. The roll tasted terrible. It was extremely salty, bitter, and completely inedible. David spat it out into a paper towel and realized what happened. He had mixed up the salt and the sugar. David felt disappointed, but he remembered his grandfather's advice. A good baker stays patient and learns from every mistake. He swept the ruined rolls into the trash bin and cleaned up the flour on the wooden table. He took a damp cloth, wiped the bowl clean, and started the entire process again. This time, he read the labels on the glass jars very carefully. He measured the sugar correctly, poured the right amount of warm water, and kneaded the dough with great care. By 7 o'clock in the morning, the second batch of dinner rolls was ready. David pulled the tray from the oven and tasted one roll. It was fantastic. The crust was light and crispy, while the inside was soft, warm, and sweet. Relief filled David's mind. He placed the fresh rolls into the glass display cases in the front shop window. Just as he finished arranging the trays, he heard the metallic chime of the front door. The first customers of the day walked inside. The first customer was Mrs. Gable, an elderly woman who bought fresh bread from Arthur every morning for 30 years. She looked at David with curiosity and asked about his grandfather's health. David explained the situation and told her that he was running the shop for a few weeks. Mrs. Gable smiled kindly and bought 6 fresh rolls. 10 minutes later, more townspeople entered the shop. Workers on their way to offices, parents taking children to school, and local shopkeepers filled up the small bakery. They bought rolls, cinnamon buns, and loaves of rye bread. On his second day, David encountered another frustrating setback. He wanted to bake soft breakfast rolls, but he forgot to check the temperature of the water. He poured boiling hot water directly over the dry yeast in the mixing bowl. High heat kills active yeast immediately. David mixed the flour, butter, and sugar and waited an hour for the dough to rise under a warm cloth. When he checked the bowl, the dough remained completely flat, dense, and heavy like a gray stone. It refused to expand. Once again, David had to throw away the failed batch, clean up the metal bowls, and start over with warm water. This mistake taught him that baking is an exact science that requires precision, care, and attention to detail. By noon every day, David was completely exhausted, but the display cases were always empty. He sold every single item he baked. However, he realized that running a bakery alone was a massive amount of physical work. His back hurt from bending over the tables, his hands were white with dry flour, and his feet felt sore from standing on the hard stone floor. He locked the front door for the afternoon, sat down on a wooden stool, and drank a glass of cold water. He knew he needed to prepare for the next day. Over the next 2 weeks, David developed a strict daily routine. He woke up every morning at 3:30, put on his white apron, and walked to the bakery under the quiet starlight. He learned how to manage his time efficiently. While the first batch of bread was rising in the warm bowls, he prepared the sweet pastry dough. While the pastries were baking in the hot stone ovens, he washed the metal trays and cleaned up the kitchen counters. During his 3rd week at the bakery, David encountered a major challenge. The town was preparing for its annual Summer Street Festival. During this weekend festival, thousands of visitors from neighboring cities came to the town to enjoy music, parades, and local food. Grandfather Arthur's bakery was always the most popular food stall at the event. In his notebook, Arthur left a special note for the festival. Make 100 special berry pies. The festival is not complete without them. David felt terrified when he read the note. Baking 100 fruit pies was a giant task even for an experienced master baker. The recipe required a delicate, flaky crust made with cold butter, ice water, and flour. The filling required fresh red berries, lemon juice, brown sugar, and cornstarch. If the butter became too warm, the crust would turn tough and hard like cardboard. David knew he could not give up. He wanted to make his grandfather proud and keep the family tradition alive. On Thursday morning, David drove his small truck to the open-air farmers market at the edge of the town to buy fresh ingredients for the festival. The market was vibrant, colorful, and full of energy. Local farmers displayed wooden crates of red strawberries, dark blueberries, yellow lemons, organic honey, and farm-fresh butter. David walked through the crowded aisles, speaking with local sellers and choosing the sweetest berries available. He bought 10 large baskets of fresh fruit, 50 pounds of organic white flour, and 30 blocks of cold unsalted butter. He loaded the heavy supplies into his truck and returned to the bakery kitchen. On Friday afternoon, the day before the festival, David started preparing the berry pies. He washed the berries in cold water, dried them gently with paper towels, and mixed them with brown sugar and fresh lemon juice in giant metal bowls. Then, he prepared the pastry dough. He worked continuously for 8 hours without taking a long break. His arms were sore from rolling out dough, and flour covered his hair, apron, and shoes. Disaster struck at 9 o'clock on Friday evening. As David was lifting a heavy metal tray loaded with 12 unbaked pies, his foot slipped on a patch of wet flour on the floor. David lost his balance and fell sideways. The heavy tray crashed onto the hard floor with a loud noise. 12 beautiful pies landed upside down in a messy heap of red fruit and broken dough. David sat on the cold floor surrounded by ruined pies and spilled berry juice. He felt completely overwhelmed, tired, and defeated. His clothes were covered in red stain, and his arms trembled with fatigue. He buried his face in his hands and thought about quitting. He wanted to lock the bakery door, walk back to his quiet apartment, and return to his simple office job on Monday. While sitting on the floor, David noticed a small piece of paper that had fallen out of his grandfather's recipe book during the crash. It was an old photograph of Arthur as a young man, standing in front of the same stone ovens. On the back of the photograph, Arthur had written a sentence many years ago. "Baking is not about perfection. It is about love, hard work, and bringing joy to others." David read the sentence 3 times. He took a deep breath, stood up from the floor, and washed his hands at the sink. He refused to give up. He took a broom, cleaned up the messy floor, and wiped the wooden tables clean. He brought out fresh flour, cold butter, and the remaining baskets of berries. Working through the night by the soft light of the kitchen lamps, David remade the fallen pies one by one with steady hands and newfound determination. When the sun rose on Saturday morning, the kitchen tables were covered with 100 perfectly baked golden brown berry pies. The sweet, fruity aroma drifted out of the open bakery windows and filled the morning air. David was covered in flour from head to toe and had not slept a single hour, but he felt a deep sense of accomplishment and pride. At 9 o'clock, the Summer Street Festival began. The town square was decorated with bright, colorful flags, flower baskets, and wooden market stalls. People walked through the streets in high spirits, listening to live band music and enjoying the sunny weather. A long, winding line of hungry customers formed outside the Golden Loaf Bakery. Word had spread through the town that Captain Arthur's grandson was baking fresh pies for the festival. David worked tirelessly behind the counter. He sliced the warm berry pies, placed them onto paper plates, and handed them to the smiling customers. People tasted the pies and praised the delicious, flaky crust and the sweet fruit filling. Many older townspeople remarked that the pies tasted exactly like the ones Arthur made 30 years ago. By 3 o'clock in the afternoon, every single pie was sold out. The customers clapped their hands, and David bowed with a happy smile. On Sunday morning, the festival ended, and the town returned to its peaceful quiet. David decided to surprise his grandfather. He placed 3 warm berry pies and a fresh loaf of rye bread into a wicker basket, covered it with a checkered cloth, and drove his car to the retirement health center at the edge of the town. When David walked into his grandfather's room, Arthur was sitting in a comfortable armchair near the window, resting his cast-bound leg on a soft footstool. The room was bright and filled with yellow sunshine. Arthur turned his head, saw David holding the wicker basket, and smiled broadly. David set the basket on the table, opened the cloth, and pulled out a fresh berry pie. He placed a slice on a small plate and handed it to the old man with a metal fork. Arthur looked at the golden crust, smelled the sweet berry filling, and took a small bite. He chewed slowly, closing his eyes to enjoy the flavor. A quiet moment passed in the sunny room. When Arthur opened his eyes, tears of joy glittered in them. He looked at David and said that the pie was magnificent. It was not just good, it was perfect. He told David that he possessed the true heart and soul of a master baker. David sat down next to his grandfather and told him the entire story of his month at the shop, visiting him in the hospital, mixing up the salt and sugar on his first day, killing the yeast with hot water on the second day, visiting the bustling farmer's market, slipping on the wet floor on Friday night and baking through the night to prepare 100 pies for the festival crowd. Arthur laughed heartily at David's mistakes and nodded with pride at his perseverance. He reached out his hand and placed it on David's shoulder, thanking him for saving the bakery, protecting the family name, and bringing so much happiness to the townspeople. 2 weeks later, Arthur's leg healed completely. The doctor permitted him to walk with a wooden cane, and the old man returned to his beloved bakery. However, things did not go back entirely to the way they were before. David realized during his month of hard work that he no longer enjoyed his quiet, boring office job. He missed the early morning hours, the smell of fresh yeast, the warmth of the stone ovens, and the warm smiles of the morning customers. David made a major life change. He resigned from his accounting firm and became a full partner at the Golden Loaf Bakery. Every morning at 4 o'clock, David and his grandfather walked down the quiet street together, unlocked the green wooden door, and put on their white aprons. Side by side, the young man and the old master kneaded the dough, prepared the fruit fillings, and baked fresh bread for the town. David kept his grandfather's brown recipe notebook in a special glass case on the wall, adding his own new ideas to the old family secrets. He learned that taking risks, working hard, and embracing new challenges can transform a simple life into a wonderful, sweet adventure.